What's going on, guys? It's Finzy here, back with another video, and today we have the top 5 best defenders for beginners. This is more kind of like towards people who are going to be playing the free weekend this weekend for Rainbow Six Siege. Now, I do want to say welcome to Rainbow, and welcome to one of the best games, honestly, out right now. Now, I want you all to not get discouraged if you don't do good at the beginning. This is a quite complex game, but once you get the hang of it, it's so much fun. So let's get straight into the operator video. Hopefully I can make your kind of transition into the game a bit easier, and if I hope you do enjoy it, you do buy the game. It is going to be, I believe, 70% off during this weekend. So let's get straight into the video. Before we start, if you do enjoy the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. Alright, now coming in at number 5, we do have Bandit. He is the 3-speed 1 armor operator that not only brings utility, but also a great loadout. Now, I'm going to put this on the list because his guns are usually pretty easy to use, pretty low recoil, and his utility is very useful, especially when you're just starting out. If you're probably not going to play too much ranked or too much unranked, or you're going to be playing mostly casual. This is also just for beginners. I want you to make sure you know that. So, keeping like the reinforced walls electrified is very, very important. Now let's move on to his loadout. Alright, now for Bandit's loadout, you will be using the MP7 submachine gun. The M870 is also a great shotgun, but I believe that the submachine gun is quite a bit better just because it's way more versatile. You can use it medium range, close range, and a little bit long range since the recoil is a bit lower. How to use this though, you do not want to be challenging attackers. Attackers have stronger guns, and they have better sights. So you want to try to, especially since he's a 3-speed, you can almost get behind the attackers, and you can honestly challenge the attackers in kind of mid-range. But if you're like trying to hold long lines of sight or even like peeking out windows, that is not where you want to be using Bandit. His secondary weapon is the P12 handgun, which is kind of just standard. It's the only one you have, and that's the only one you're going to use. Now, for his gadget, there's barbed wire and nitro cell. But I would honestly use barbed wire is great for kind of the team, and for yourself too. It gives you great intel. So if you say put this on the stairs, right, and say you're not going to watch the stairs, but the stairs are behind you. If you hear that barbed wire, you hear someone like breaking the barbed wire, you instantly know someone's on the stairs. And that is great if you know how to use it. And even me, who was level 80 on Xbox and level 70 something on PS4, so you know, pretty high level put together, right? I still really don't know how to use nitro cells. I've never really taken the time to practice, and really they can be so deadly if you know how to throw them, but you have to know how to arc them properly. And honestly, I found that most of the time, like, I'm trying to use them and I just get shot and die. So, for my personal opinion, for beginners, I would use the barbed wire gadget. For Bandit's main ability, it is the shock wire. So that it sets up a crude electrical device that electrifies other gadgets and damages anything that comes within contact. So what this is gonna do, it's gonna stop any kind of thermite from, you know, putting on a kind of like breach, right? So it's gonna stop that from happening. So basically, you can halt the attackers from coming in. Now, it is pretty easy to counter against, especially with a Thatcher. Now, this is something, if you're say you want to play this game more long term, or if you want to try this, you can do a thing called bandit tricking. What you're gonna do is you have to sit by the wall and listen for when the hard breacher is putting down his thing to hard breach the wall, and you put down the shock wire in time so that it destroys that. Don't really worry about that as a beginner, since people aren't going through as these like really in-depth like strategies and like whole like operator teams. That's more for rank, so I really wouldn't really worry about that too much as a beginner. So yeah, Bandit is coming in at our number 5 spot, and he's a great operator for beginners. Let's get into the number 4 spot. Alright, so at number 4 we do have Doc/Rook. I know some people are gonna, you know, disagree with me putting Doc and Rook at the same place, but I want to keep this list kind of short and quick so you guys can just quickly see what the best operators are and know what to use, and get straight into enjoying Rainbow Six Siege, since this weekend is pretty small, and you know, this free event is not very long, and I want you guys to get as much time in playing it, see if you enjoy the game, and then obviously if you want, you could buy it. It is 70% off, I believe, during this free weekend. So yeah, so right here we have Doc/Rook. So I'm putting them together because they're both 3 armor, 1 speed operators, both using similar guns. So we're gonna look at kind of both of them here. So for Doc, you're gonna use the MP5. It's way better than the P90. It's just a little bit worse fire rate, I believe. Yeah, a little bit worse fire rate, but a lot more damage, or a tiny bit more damage, and just more accurate overall. And And then for the pistol, I like to use the Magnum just because you can make like more holes kind of with the Magnum. Then you can either go bulletproof camo or barbed wire. Once again, you know why I like barbed wire. Bulletproof camos are also good, but I kind of just prefer having that kind of intel. And I've seen, it seems like whenever I put down a bulletproof camo, people are just sprinting to it to destroy it, and that doesn't really help. Where even if the people destroy the barbed wire, I still can hear them destroying it. Right, so that will be Doc's loadout. Moving into Doc's ability, Doc has the stim pistol ability. So basically it fires a hypodramic shot to revive himself or teammates from a distance. It can also provide a temporary boost. So basically what this does, you can either stim yourself to get your health back up, or stim a teammate to get their health back up, or if you're at full HP, if you stim yourself, you'll go to 150. So Doc is great. Then moving on to Rook, same thing for the loadout. If you don't use this, you're gonna instantly die. But if you have the armor pack, it just lets you get knocked down, right? And yeah. So what would I use for a beginner? Personally, I would go Rook. Okay, Rook has a lot more simpler role. All he has to do is put his armor down and then hold an angle. Where Doc has to be a bit more moving around and helping out the team with his stim pistols, right? But they're both pretty simple operators, pretty easy to use, pretty good for obviously beginners, and that's why I'm putting them both right here. Let's hop into the number 3 spot. Alright, now coming in at number 4, we do have Jaeger. Jaeger is the 2-speed, 2-armor defender who uses the active defense system as his ability. Moving on to Jaeger's loadout, you're going to use the 416 carbine. Once again, you do have the M870 shotgun, but really Jaeger is the best with his 416 since it's the only defender with an assault rifle, so you want to take advantage of that. It is great. It has low recoil, pretty high damage for obviously a defender, and decent fire rate too. So yeah, it's great. It's a great weapon. It's great overall. Moving into the pistol, it's this one, the P12, and then once again, you're just going to use barbed wire for the reasons I gave at the beginning. Now for his ability. Jaeger's ability is the active defense system. So he uses an active defense system to intercept grenades before they detonate. So I'm going to have some footage here of just me putting it down. I can't actually have any, I don't have any footage of people actually showing it, but I can basically explain it. So you can put this thing down, and if a grenade or a flashbang or any projectile comes into the room, it'll shoot it, right? So they won't do anything. And it can shoot 2 of grenades, two flashbangs, 2 ash charges, right? So it's great to keep people safe. So say if you have a Rook, right, and he's gonna hold one place, you put one of these active defenses beside your Rook to protect your Rook. So he's great, not only because he's fast, he's a great gun, and he helps with the team a lot. Alright, now let's hop on to the number 2 spot. Now before we move on with the video, I'm just gonna have to ask you guys to please subscribe. We're trying to hit 200 subscribers. We're almost at 130. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you really like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get to the number 2 spot. This is where it gets good, guys. Alright, coming into the number 2 spot, we do have Mute, the 2-speed, 2-armor. If you are noticing anything here, the 2-speed, 2-armors are usually the easiest to use, just because they're so in the middle. They're not slow, they're not fast, but then they're not low armor. So it is great. Let's move on to his loadout. Now for Mute's loadout, we're going to be using the MP5K submachine gun. As you can see, it is super low recoil, super nice, super agile. It has decent damage and a nice fire rate. We're also going to use the P226 MK handgun. Really, if you were a more skilled player, which I'm not expecting you guys to be if you're a beginner, you would use the machine pistol, but it's got some crazy recoil, so I would not recommend that. Just use the pistol. And then once again, you can also go nitro cell or bulletproof camera. That's going to be your kind of choice. Now moving into his ability. Alright, now for Mute's ability, he does have the signal disruptor. So basically, you see in the gameplay here, you put this down, and what it does, if a drone gets too close to it, it'll either completely deactivate the drone, or if it gets a little bit farther away, it'll start glitching out the screen. So this is great to keep yourself hidden and keep others hidden. So once again, remember how I talked about putting the ADS down, Jaeger's ability to keep say a Rook or Doc safe when he's just sitting somewhere. You can also put a Mute there to prevent him getting droned out, right? So really, you have to look at it like helping your teammates, and you know, it's great. And it just basically, an attacker's like biggest advantage is having those drones. And if you can get rid of the drones, it's just great. So that's why I'm putting him here at the number 2 spot. He has easy guns, great utility, and that's about it. And let's hop into the number 1 spot. Alright, now at the number 1 spot we do have Smoke. Smoke is also a 2-speed, 2-armor operator. You see what I'm saying? These are the best operators for beginners. These kind of like... Alright, now moving into the loadout. We do have the FMG 9 submachine gun. Right, so usually when you get a little better at Smoke, you can use the shotgun, but for beginners, I'm gonna use the submachine gun, which is still a great option. Obviously, high damage, a little bit lower fire rate. For the pistol, same thing. It's the same like thing with Mute, right? Same thing with Mute. You have a machine pistol as an option, but I would not recommend it. Then you're gonna want to run the deployable shield. The deployable shield are really, really good now. As you see right here, you can actually see through them, which is really good. Or barbed wire is still good too, but I would honestly go with deployable shield. Moving into Mute's gadget. Now, as you see on the gameplay here, Mute's gadget is these little like smoke bombs. I guess you can throw them. You press right trigger to throw them, and then you click right bumper, and you click right bumper again to like release the gas. So this is not great. This is also great for like closing down like hallways. So see, you know they're gonna come through. There's 2 hallways, right? You can put a smoke in one, and then just hold an angle in the other, because you know they have to come through the other. Because otherwise, if you go in the smoke, you do take quite a bit of damage. It's also great for denying plants. So say you can open up like little like holes. You can throw your smoke through. So if you know that someone's planting in the other side, you can throw your smoke across the site to like let it go off, and then it'll deny the plant. So that's why I have Smoke here at the number 1 spot. He's just great all overall. He's very easy to use, and I think it's one of the best operators to use as a beginner. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.